Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the morning news on AETV. Today is 5th March 2026, Thursday. I am Samira Franklin. Coming up with the headlines. Serial killer jailed for life over 23 murders across 2 regions. Ghana's inflation drops to 3.3% in February, lowest since 2021 rebasing. Middle East crisis, Ghanaian embassies evacuate Barrier and wife to safety. Chiefs and teachers at Abeyanko call for speed rounds on Koforidua Somalia Road to avert killing of peoples. News in details. The High Court in Ra has sentenced a serial killer to life imprisonment after he pleaded guilty to multiple counts of murder across the Upper West and Savannah regions. In a press release dated March 4, 2026, and issued by the Public Affairs Unit of the Ghana Police Service in the Upper West region, the court handed down the sentence to Sharif Abdullahi, also known as Christos, for the murder of Issa Yahaya and 22 others. According to the statement, Abdullahi pleaded guilty to killing 16 people in Ra, 5 in Bole, and 1 each in Bandang Kwanta and Bamboy. According to the statement, Abdullahi pleaded to guilty. Police said the convict was arrested on October 6, 2025, following what they described as sustained intelligence-led operations and investigations. He was subsequently arraigned before the High Court in Ra on 4th March 2026 after committal proceedings at the District Magistrate Court. Represented by counsel, Abdullahi pleaded guilty to the charges. Upon his own plea, the preceding judge, Justice Osei Yusu Antwi, sentenced him to life imprisonment in hard labor. The statement indicated that the convict will serve his sentence at the Insawan Media Security Prison. The minority leader Alexander Afenamakin has reacted and apologized to the Interior Minister Mohamed Mubarak Mutaka for alleging fraud in the ongoing security service recruitment process. The apology delivered on the floor of Parliament on Wednesday, 4th March, followed a directive from the First Deputy Speaker, Bernard Ahiafo, who referred the minority leader to the Privileges Committee on grounds of contempt. The referral came after the Interior Minister complained that the claims made against him were baseless and damaging. Mr. Afenamakin had previously alleged that the involvement of a third party, IT firm, in the recruitment exercise amounted to a scam and placed the undue financial burden on applicants. In his statement before the House, the minority leader sought to clear the air. Mr. Speaker, I will not do that to hurt him or tarnish his reputation. And if the test of my concern reflected so, it is hereby accordingly withdrawn. I assure you that concerns that will arise out of any matter shall be properly brought to his attention, he said. Accepting the apology, Mr. Mutaka described the allegations as deeply distressing, particularly given their gravity. Read also, Afenamakin referred to Privileges Committee over security recruitment allegations. It's painful to be wrongly accused in and be labeled differently from the intention that you have, especially when it is connected with heavy wrongdoing. I I am heavily hurt and heavily worried. But who am I to say that I will not accept my colleague's terms to apologize? I accept it wholeheartedly. He further pleaded to the Speaker to have the matter expunged from the parliamentary record. He added that, "My plea is that, if it is possible, it should be expunged from our records so that it will be as that it never happened."
If, Mr. Speaker, the text of my concerns reflected so, it is hereby accordingly withdrawn. And, Mr. Speaker, as colleagues, when a member feels strongly about a statement which is unintended, the right thing to do is to withdraw and apologize to him. Mr. Speaker, I proceed to do so, and to assure you that concerns that would arise out of any matter shall be properly be brought to his attention. But on this matter, as I've said before, I will repeat it for Hansa, that anything related to him or his ministry is withdrawn. And again, apologies.
That was it from the minister. Credit to Joy News. Former MPP chairman Freddie Blay has played down reports that party brings and scheming to remove minority Alexander Afenyo-Markin from his parliamentary post, following allegations that he did not actively support Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia during the party's fiercely contested January 2026 presidential primary. Speaking in an exclusive interview with Joy News, Blay said he had no knowledge of any such plan and had not been consulted anyone pushing for the Efitu's MP's removal. "I am not aware there is a plan being hatched like that. It has not come to my notice. Nobody has even talked to me about it," Blay said. Following Bawumia's victory in 31st January primary, where he pulled 56.48% in a 5-way race, questions began swirling within MPP ranks about which senior figures had backed him and which had quietly supported rival candidates. Afenyo-Markin found himself at the center of those conversations, with some party members and Bawumia lawyerly reportedly pushing for consequences. Blay, however, had carefully not to take sides while dismissing the existence of any concrete plan. He pointedly reminded his audience that the power of act on such matters ultimately rests with the party, not individual functions of the parliamentary caucus. It's not even the party, the caucus that decided. The party makes a decision. That party prerogative as it were, to influence the leadership of the party, he said. But the party has a prerogative of doing so. Ghana's year-on-year inflation rate has declined further to 3.3% in February 2026, marking the 14th consecutive monthly drop and the lowest level recorded since the 2021 rebasing of the Consumer Price Index. According to the data released by the Ghana Statistical Service, the CPI for February 2026 stood at 264.4, up from 255.9 in February 2025. The present a 3.3% increase in the general price level over the 12-month period. On a month-on-month basis, inflation was 0.8% in February 2026, indicating that prices rose marginally between January and February this year. The February inflation rate presents a 0.5 percentage points drop from the 3.8% recorded in January 2026, and a sharp 19.8 percentage points decline from 23.1% recorded in February 2025. The steep downward trend signals improving prices stability and strengthened expectation of sustainable macroeconomic recovery. Food and non-food trends. Food and non-alcoholic beverages inflation slowed significantly to 2.4% in February 2026, down from 3.9% in January. Non-food inflation, however, edged up to 4.0% from 3.8% the previous month. In terms of origin, locally produced items recorded inflation of 4.5%, slightly down from 4.6% in January. Imported items saw a sharp slowdown, with inflation falling to 0.6% from 2.0% in January. Goods and services. Inflation for goods declined to 3.2% in February from 3.7% in January. Services inflation also dropped to 3.7% from 4.2% over the same period. Regional performance. At the regional level, the Savannah region recorded the lowest year-on-year inflation rate of negative 5.6%, while the Northeast region recorded the highest at 8.9%. The continued decline in inflation suggests easing price pressures across most sectors of the economy, reinforcing signs of macroeconomic stabilization as Ghana moves further away from the high inflation environment experienced in 2025. President John Dramani Mahama, accompanying the Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, Dr. Therese Michael Drew, planted the symbolic tree of life at the presidential gardens at Jubilee House as part of the Prime Minister's official state visit in Ghana. The ceremonial tree planting, which took place on Wednesday, 4th March, formed part of activities aimed at strengthening diplomatic and cultural ties between Ghana and the Caribbean nation. The gesture symbolizes shared history, renewal, and the enduring relationship between the two countries. Dr. Drew, who also serves as the chairman of the Caribbean community, used the occasion to reaffirm the Caribbean region's support for Ghana's global push for justice and historical recognition of the transatlantic slave trade. He pledged his backing for President Mahama's proposed United Nations resolution seeking to declare slavery and gravest crime against humanity, describing the initiatives as both timely and deeply significant. According to the Prime Minister, the proposal reflects a growing global conversation about historical accountability and the need to acknowledge the profound human suffering caused by slavery. President Mahama, on his part, has been advocating stronger global recognition of the historical injustice of slavery, urging that formally declaring it the gravest crime against humanity would help advance discussions on reparatory justice and deepen historical awareness. St. Kitts and Nevis Prime Minister state visit to Ghana is expected to further deepen cooperation between the two countries in areas including diplomacy, cultural exchange, and economic collaboration. Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, Dr. Therese Michael Drew, reviews how President Mahama's speech at the 2025 United Nations General Assembly gave him hope and urged his decisions in wanting to meet him in person. He spoke at the beginning of a 3-day visit to Ghana at the Jubilee House.
And Mr. President, one of the things that really stuck out to me was last UN General Assembly. There are a lot of speeches given, but I particularly listened to your speech, and your speech inspired me. And I said, I told my team that I wanted to meet you, and I'm not only meeting you, but you have welcomed me back home. Thank you very much.
Former Vice President of Ghana, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and his wife Samira Bawumia, together with their entourage, have been assisted from Qatar to another country as tensions escalate in parts of the Middle East. The relocation follows direct instructions issued by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, acting on behalf of the government. The ministry directed Ghanaian embassies in the region to take immediate steps to ensure their safety and coordinate secure travel arrangements. The ministry directed Ghanaian embassies. Diplomatic sources indicated that the embassies worked closely with host authorities to facilitate the swift and discreet movement of the former vice president, his wife, and their team to a safer destination. Been disclosed due to security considerations, has officially described the process as smooth and well coordinated. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the government of Ghana are working around the clock to safeguard all Ghanaians residing in or traveling through affected areas in the Middle East. Authorities say monitoring efforts remain ongoing, with embassies on standby to provide consular support and emergency assistance where necessary. The chief and teachers at Aburanko, a farming community in the Yellow Krobo municipality of the Eastern region, are calling on the authorities to install speed ramps on the road from Koforidia to Somalia to help reduce the road accidents involving school children on the stretch. Teachers and students of Aburanko MA Basic School urgently need speed ramps on the busy road, which has become dangerous to cross. The chief of Aburanko, Nene Tete Ade the First, speaking on Aunews News, Nenibi Ayete David on March 4th said several appeals had been made, but nothing had been done to address the situation, which continues to claim the lives of the school children. Nene Ade therefore appealed to the government and Ghana Highways Authority to help fix speed ramps. The road passes through the Nkurankan, Aburanko, Abukrum to Somalia. Vehicles move at top speed, and this has led to several accidents involving children. We are appealing to the authorities to help us with speed ramps, Nene Ade pleaded. A teacher also shared similar concerns that the lack of speed ramps makes it difficult for school children to cross the road. There are no speed ramps in our school. Drivers are overspeeding and taking the lives of busy school children. Sir Mene Made, head teacher of Aberanko MA Busy School, lamented. Here comes the end of the morning news. Headline recaps. Serial killer jailed for life over 23 murders across 2 regions. Ghana's inflation drops to 3.3% in February, lowest since 2021 rebasing. Middle East crisis. Ghanaian embassies evacuate Baumia and Samira to safety. Real chief and teachers at Aberanko call for speed ramps on Koforidua, Somalia road to avert killing of peoples. I am Samira Franklin. The end of the morning news. Up next, sports segments. Good morning.